Okay, we're recording.
What show is it?
It is the Just Ask Rick show, and it is only the Just Ask Rick show. As soon as that camera goes on, what happens is we've got people poking their head around here, going, just asking me questions. Rick, excuse me, can I? And trying to entertain. Okay, this is an education video. Entertain, educate, and inspire. I'm going to educate you today. That's what we're all about. And we have, as always, 3 questions asked by, I suppose, the community that is building momentum as we go. Quite surprised, actually, that already we're having people ask us questions. Previously, I'm going to be transparent with you. When we started this, I asked 5 people questions, and pretty much they all came back to me. 1 or 2 of them was the same or similar kind of question, but as it happens, we got some questions on the comments from the video that we put out. So keep them coming, please. Thank you very much. I'm going to kick it off with Rob Allen, and it's quite an in-depth question, which means I'm going to give it a bit of time and give you a more in-depth answer. So Rob asks, so Rick, new startup, pre-trading, loads of workshops to attend. You are ready to start, but you need funding. Full stop. Investor to get you started, only to find that nothing is available. So my question is to you, how do you get started and get them or get a team of experts like yourself on board? It's not about a team of experts. It's about you going out there yourself, reaching out to people on LinkedIn, maybe getting involved in the conversations. If you've got an idea that is a little bit different, a team of experts can't get you established because it's up here. Your thoughts has to become vocalized in some way, shape or form. It's very difficult for other people to understand what you're doing. I speak with experience. For me, it's all about patience and persistence. Be patient. Okay, you know what's going to happen throughout this whole process. It took me 8 years to get people to understand what I wanted to do for them. 8 years. And I was very patient because throughout that 8-year period, you have people doubting you. Eventually, you will start to doubt yourself, which means insecurity will fall in and all these kind of other negative feelings. So this negative energy is coming in. It's clouding your vision. You're losing the will almost to continue with your business or with your idea. So please, 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 please be very patient. And that is where persistent kicks in. Okay, you need to turn this negative thoughts into positivity in some way. So your insecurities, turn them into you being humble in some way, shape or form. The way you express this insecurity has to come out in a humble form and not have a lack of confidence about your idea, but discuss it in such a way saying, listen, I need your help. I have this thought process that needs your input as well. So reach out and ask, change your dialect. What tends to happen is throughout this patience period, you become frustrated and angry that people aren't listening to you. So turn that into passion, because that hatred and that anger and that whole negative sort of feeling that you have about people not listening to you, about the process, again, is clouding and fogging your vision so much so that you can't get on to the next stage. So that anger, frustration and disappointment, simply turn it into passion. Rather than shouting at people and berating and saying, why aren't you listening? Be a soldier for the cause and saying, I need you to come and help me. Rather than speak to 1,000 people, speak to one person at a time and change one person's view, one person's opinion at a time. Now, with all of these social media platforms, you can do this one at a time. Within Facebook groups, you can join communities, you can get involved in the conversation, and at one person at a time, have your profile be seen, have your voice be heard. Again, LinkedIn. Keyword searches for content, keyword searches for pain points and problems, getting involved in the conversation will slowly but surely have your face popping up, your profile slowly but surely raised. And again, just one person at a time. I bet you any money it's a better position than you're in right at this moment in time. I did it. I've done it myself. Nobody cared about what I had to offer. But slowly and very surely, I convinced one person at a time to come on board. And that education of the way in which the responses were coming back to me as I was reaching out taught me how to express, how to explain, how to talk about my solution to their problem. So in all of this process, it shouldn't be frustrating, it shouldn't be angry, it should be all about you learning, okay? And you will finally find your voice, and people will soon find you as well. And that might come in the form of the Vivesta. It did for us, but it didn't happen until I understood a little bit more about what people wanted, not necessarily what I thought people wanted. I hope that comes through. Okay, question number 2 comes from our very own D-Rock. This is David Coslet. He says, I've got a question. What are your thoughts on the 2020 rule? So rather than trying to do all the platforms equally, you focus on one specifically and then work on the others in the background. Great question. He carries on and says, or should you focus your time on pushing all your socials equally? Let's explain the 80-20 rule first of all. We try to deliver that and help our clients do that through a very simple process. We suggest you entertain, educate, inspire all the time. Our weekly process has people sticking to this strictly. Monday, motivate. Tuesday, tip, you delivering value to your customer. Wednesday, wisdom, extra value to your customer. A Thursday, thought, have them thinking about their problems a little bit deeper. And a feature Friday. This is where you feature a product or service and talk about it openly. This is your sales pitch, okay? You'll notice that we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. 80% of the broadcast that we're helping people with currently right now is all about value add. 10, the final 20% of that content is ask. We go through that whole process for 8 to 12 weeks so that people see that and they understand how people interact and engage. We do that purposefully so that you as a client are offering value to the end user first of all. In the not too distant future, if you concentrate and go deep on this value first, customers, inquiries will come to you. We have to remember that social media is not a search tool. It's not Google. Nobody's looking for you right this moment in time. It's a discovery tool. So they need to discover something about you. Are you of service? Can you be of service? How good, great, how much of an expert are you in your field? And then when you're educating people and you're giving first, it will for sure come back and pay you huge rewards. In terms of focusing on a platform, there is merit behind that. I appreciate that. So if you're solely in B2B, yes, you should probably go in pretty heavy on LinkedIn and have a LinkedIn strategy for sure. But what I'm saying is don't ignore those other platforms around the edge. People have a life. They will have maybe an Instagram account to share photos with friends or family, and they may want to engage with you there. The same rule applies for Facebook as well. And the thing is that I like about having a holistic view to our broadcast is we get that. We get that people have a work-life balance and we deliver content that spreads across all of the platforms. So don't underestimate what these platforms around the fringe of your industry can deliver. So if you're in B2C, don't ignore LinkedIn altogether. Because if you're a restaurant, say for example, and people have had a tough week, people in business, decision makers, how are you going to speak to them? Is it about time that they should put this hard work to rest and have a life as well? Maybe you could put in help and advice on stress relief, that they should be having a work-life balance right at this moment in time. And it is LinkedIn that you should be talking to these people in. Now, from a B2B perspective, people are relaxed in an evening time. So they have a completely different mind frame, or they're in a completely different mind frame. So if you are holistic in your approach, you're outreaching as you should be doing daily, maybe on LinkedIn, you're engaging maybe daily on LinkedIn, sharing out your links, you have on your website a Facebook pixel, picking up those click-through rates, you then have a very cost-effective remarketing opportunity to push out and be speaking to those people there as well. Again, ignoring all of the platforms for me limits your digital footprint so much so that you're going to be missing out on a trick, I'm afraid, guys. Right, I hope that answers your question as well. We have another one from Rachel Middleton. Middleton. She says, yes, Rick, I'd like to know how to preset posts for the whole week on LinkedIn if possible. Another good question. Last week or last video, what we discussed was not using a third-party posting tool like Hootsuite or Buffer to post to Facebook particularly. And that is because it does suppress you on the algorithm. LinkedIn, on the other hand, doesn't. So we advocate using something like Buffer or Hootsuite to post to LinkedIn and have them all scheduled in. In fact, I really encourage you to do that because LinkedIn right this moment in time is the platform for 2019. And if, like I said in the previous videos, in the previous questions, if you're ignoring LinkedIn right now, you're missing out on a huge trick because the algorithm that's awarded to regular LinkedIn users is likened to Facebook of 2010, 2011, something like that, where the algorithm was very giving. This is the same for you as well. So if the only thing putting you off from broadcasting content on LinkedIn on a daily basis is the fact that you can't schedule the content, turn to Hootsuite, turn to Buffer, because it's a must for us right at this moment in time. Listen, guys, I do hope that you found that useful and of service. And I do hope that Rachel, Rob, and of course you, D-Rock, you've got the answers to your question today. Please do like and subscribe because I want to be delivering this on a regular basis. Every week you're going to get it, and I need your questions and I need your views to help make sure, or at least show me that you need this kind of stuff. So remember, like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.